Hey guys, DIY Maniac here. So another little video I'm putting up in regards to my 2013 Honda Civic. In this video I'm going to be installing a secondary 12 volt outlet for accessories, charging phones. As you know, in this particular model, the non-touring, it only comes with one 12 volt outlet. I think on the touring model you get a second one down underneath the armrest in the center console beside the USB. However, mine doesn't have it. So I'm going to be putting that in, as well as I'm going to be putting in some ambient lighting. Not the Honda kit. It's going to be just some blue lights that I have. I'm going to be installing one in behind where the cup holders are. That'll shine out over the cup holder. And I'm going to try to put one right here that'll shine and illuminate the area in this little cubby over here. But that's going to be determined, as I'm not sure how much spacing there is behind these panels for the light itself. The light's not very thick. I'm going to have to drill, I believe it's a 1/2 inch hole, but I'll confirm to snap the lights in. They're a small domed light. I'll show you that, guys, later on. And then run my wiring. So I'm unsure now for the secondary outlet if I'm going to put it here, but I would like to put it down into the center console charging. And I'm gonna wire it so it's hot all the time, whether the car's on or off. As you know, the Honda one, it's only powered when the key is in the accessory or on. So if you want to charge your phone while leaving the car, you can't, loses power. So I'm gonna detail the video of how to remove these panels, the shift knob, and to get everything off. And we'll take it up there. So the first step we're going to want to do is to remove the shift knob. Now the way it works is on your boot you have a locking ring, this chrome ring, and as you can see on the shift knob itself, it has these plastic tabs. These plastic tabs lock into the ring. So what you got to do is you push the boot down a bit, otherwise, because normally the boot sits up. When it's still connected, you push it down, and that exposes little slots where you can see those white tabs. With a screwdriver, you push into those slots, push back the tab, that releases the boot and ring. And you have one of those tabs on each side. I'm not going to lie to you, it's not the easiest thing to do. It's not hard either. And you want to be careful. Some people do complain that these little tabs break. I've removed this quite a few times and it's never broken on me. I take my time and I'm gentle. So once the boot is released, you could unscrew the shift knob, so it's counterclockwise, and it'll come right off. This will also be advantageous for you guys that want to replace your shift knobs and put an aftermarket one on. So that unscrews like that. It's quite a long thread. It has a good weight to it. The stock shift knob, it is weighted. It's not just some cheap plastic. They did put some weight in it to help for the throws. So you want to keep that in mind when you remove it. If you wanted to get a heavier weighted shift knob, weigh the stock one and see if you're really gaining any weight or possibly losing weight with the aftermarket one. So that's one thing to keep in mind. So now that our shift knob is removed, the boot could slide off. So now we can start removing the panels. So the first panel we're going to remove is the one that surrounds the shifter. This one needs to be removed first before you can release the secondary panel that houses the cup holders. So what you want to do is you want to be very gentle. A plastic pry tool. You could use a screwdriver, but you have to be very gentle to get into the seam in between the two panels, and that would then allow you to pry it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this started, and then I'll show you how it completely comes off. So coming back to removing that panel, my tool of choice is a trim removal tool. This is mainly made for removing those clips that you have on doors, but it does work very well for this purpose as well. You want to be very gentle when going in between the panels, and then what you could do is use it to pry up. And what that does is it separates this panel, which is where your shifter is, and now you can see this all comes loose. And what we could do is, oh, I'm sorry, I'm blocking the camera. Our shifter boot is off. This will allow us, with some wiggling, to remove this section here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come back and show you the connectors on the back of the power outlet and the auxiliary and how those are removed, so we could get this panel out of the way. I'll be right back. So coming back to that panel, here we could see our two connectors in the back, one for the auxiliary connector and the other one for the 12 volt accessory outlet. On the auxiliary, it's the green connector here. There's a little tab, you push in with your thumb and you pull out, and that connector is freed. For the 12 volt, it's a black tab. I'm sorry guys, this is hard to do with one hand. If we look here on the black one, I don't know how well we're going to see this. So if you see there's the black one, there's a little tab that you have to push with your thumb. I'm going to see if I can do this one hand. With your thumb you push and then separate, slide out, and that frees the two connectors. And now our panel is removed. So here we can see our panel's loose with our shift boot, because it's a good time to clean it as well. We could put that aside, and now we have access inside where the shifter is. Here's our two connectors. This will also give us room to run our wires. What I'm going to be doing is running directly to the fuse panel, taking off an already empty location. That's constant 12 volt. I'm going to be running that for the 12 volt outlet. And for my lights, I'm not sure yet. I have to look what I want to do for wiring. I think I might run it off of the 12 volt the 12 volt outlet that's already here off these wires. And actually, to tell you the truth, I think even for the 12 volt outlet, I'm not going to run constant. I'm thinking now, well, actually I could. You know what, I'm going to think it over. We're going to, when we come back in the video, I'll let you guys know which decision I decided to make and how the wiring is done. So now what we're going to want to do is remove the panel that holds the cup holders in place. So this panel now we could access. So what I like to do is get my hand up underneath it, and we're going to pull up, and that's going to separate it from the other section. Okay, you know what I'm going to do, guys? I'm going to put the phone down. It's hard with one hand. I'm going to just get it released and show you how it comes. Okay, so I got that panel loosened. Don't worry, guys. One day I will get a proper tripod so I don't have to keep stopping the videos. It's really hard to do with one hand while you're trying to film. So basically, you're just going to grab from the front, lift up, it'll release the clips, and then as you work your way back, it's just held in by clips, and then this panel can be released, and this is where your cup holders are. So we can see there. So that's where I'm going to be attempting. I have to, once again, you know, it's all dependent on space. I'm attempting to put the light somewhere in this section here. But I'm going to see as it goes. I'm going to explore some more. So now we have this panel off as well, and now we can start seeing more inside. So the next step after that is I'm going to want to remove this part here if I want to be able to put the 12 volt accessory in there. But you know, I'm looking at it, I'm not sure there's going to be enough room with that USB port that is there. So really I'm unsure on the direction I want to take right now. So I'm going to think this over. I'm going to be looking at it and seeing exactly how I want to do it. And then when I come back, I'll let you guys know what decision I made, and you'll be following along with me as I do it. Okay guys, this is a decision I made. I'm going to be putting the 12 volt outlet in the cubby. I won't be going through the back. As you can see, this is the outlet I'm using. It is very long. Okay, so we got to keep that in mind. I don't have the space needed in the back. What I'm going to be doing is coming from the inside through here, putting it down in the bottom, and that gives us room for it to protrude through over here. Now you want to make sure is that you don't put it too high in the cubby. If you put it too high with this particular outlet, you won't have the space, because as you can see, the way this is made, you see how shallow it is, but as you come down you gain a lot more room. Sorry about the lighting here. You gain a lot more room. So by me coming down lower into the cubby, I'm going to be able to have the room, and it'll basically be sticking out down low, and it won't be interfering with anything. So that's where I'll be putting the outlet. As for the lights, I'm going with a blue light as to match with the blue lights on the cluster. So these are the ones I'm using. They're very low profile. You got to drill your hole. Except for now, I'm guessing it's 1/2 inch, but I'll confirm. And I'll be putting one here So I'll be drilling my hole through the cup holder panel. So the light will be there shining out. It won't be visible when looking down. It's hidden by the armrest. So it'll be a nice clean install, but still casting a nice light where your cup holders are. And a second one will be down, as I said, in that cubby. So if we look in the cubby section here, we have a lot of space on the underside, which would be, sorry about that guys, if you're looking towards the back of the car, there's the shifter, that's the cubby, it'll be on the back side. So basically this is how it would sit in the car, and I'll have the light pretty much right there. In the middle. Won't interfere with the shifter. It won't be visible. The actual, it's very low profile though. I mean, that's the only thing that's going to stick through the plastic. So it's not much, but it's going to be low profile, and it'll cast out a light into that, into this section here. Like I said, it's just ambient lighting. This doesn't need to be super bright. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. So what I'm first going to do is drill my hole for my 12-volt outlet. I want to say it's 1.5 inches, but I'll have to check. And I'm going to drill that through the plastic to put it through. Then I'm going to start drilling my holes for my lights. So let me get started on that, and I'll get right back to you guys. Okay guys, let's show you what we've done so far. So we drilled our hole. For information, for this particular 12-volt outlet, it's 1 1/8 inch hole. Makes a nice tight fit. So we can see it's in there and protruding out the other side, with our leads for our ground and our power. It comes also with a locking ring that we tighten on, and that is what secures it. So basically you screw it on, it screws in all the way, and then it tightens up onto the back. And so that part of the install is done. Obviously still wiring needs to be done for it, but we have it in place. So it's in a nice place. I like it. I can put my USB charging port in there, because the main reason for this is I used to always charge up front. Then you have the wire running all over the place. So by having it in here, I could bring my wire, my charging cable for my iPhone just out enough when I dump it in the cup holder. I don't have this wire running all over the place. And it just also gives me a secondary outlet, so when the kids are in the back and they want to charge stuff. So that's the reason I decided to go that way. Now, I know I said in the video my plan was to have it powered all the time. I'm still unsure if I want to do it that way or just have it when the key is on. It's all going to come down to how, simplicity and complication of how much work I want to put into it. So we'll see as that goes on how I decide to do it. So what I'm going to do now is drill the holes for those light bulbs so we could put those in place. I'll get right back to you. So I went ahead and drilled the holes for the lights. For this particular light bulb, it was a 31/64 hole. Obviously that'll be different depending what lights you use. But here you can see this is the light, and when you push it in, it snaps in place like that. And then from the back, like any other little connector, you have little locking tabs that you would squeeze together, and you could release the light bulb. So that's the one in the cup holder area. It's going to light up the cup holders. And here's the one in the cubby area. Same principle. So it'll be there. You won't even be able to see the bulb, but it'll give a nice blue tone to that area. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and start the wiring, and I'll come back to you guys explaining that. The wiring's getting underway. Now what I did is I tapped into the fuse panel, location number 23, and I used an added fuse. Location was empty and is only powered in the on position. So I'm just tapping off its power side of the circuit. I'm not putting a fuse in to complete that circuit, but putting a fuse in to complete my added fuse circuit, if that makes any sense to you. So there you could see I put in a 5 amp fuse, and that's going to be running my power for both my 12-volt outlet and my lighting. So yes, finally I decided to go powered only in the on position, not when the car is off, because I wanted to share that circuit with the lights and the outlet. Therefore, if I were to go constant power, my lights would always be on. So I just did that to simplify the wiring and just make my life easier. And honestly, it's not hardly ever I charge my phone when I'm not in the car. So I'm going to clean up the wiring, make it all nice and tidy, and I'll come back to you guys. Okay guys, so the install is done. As we see, we could have the light up front. We have the light near the cup holders. We have our 12-volt receptacle with USB charger for my phone hidden in there. I'm uncertain about the strength of the light. I mean, it still is daylight outside, so it's hard to really judge, but I think they might be too weak, unfortunately. We can see them on there. And there's that one. It's really, we're going to be able to test it at night. I think it might give a nice glow. We'll find out. Charger is active when the key is on and when the engine's running. Same as the lights. So I mean, that's it. I'm going to come back tonight and continue this video just to show you guys what it looks like in the nighttime and kind of give you an idea. So we'll get back at that when it gets darker outside. Hey guys, I mean, it's not showing up in the video, but it does have a blue glow. We're now looking at the cubby and we're now looking at the cup holders. I don't know why it's not showing up in the video. You can see the light bulbs that are on, but believe me when I tell you, there is a glow. Now, it's not a big glow. I probably would have liked a little bit more, especially in the cup holder. Would have been nice. However, the cubby looks great. It has a nice little glow to it. Cup holder, definitely the first cup holder gets lit up, and the second one a little bit as well. But yeah, it's not showing up in the video, so I'm sorry about that. But take my word for it, has a glow, a hue to it. I'll put the dome lights on. I don't know if that will help anything. Not really. So anyways, I mean, that was a very quick video. I didn't go too in depth on it, but it pretty much gives you an idea if you do want to put a secondary 12-volt outlet in the car, how it can be done in a good location that I found for my needs anyways, was where I put it. As well as some ambient lighting down low on the center console for both the cup holders and the cubby. So that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, like usual, hit me up in the comments. As I always say, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. I am trying to put up more and more videos, but work is keeping me busy. But I am going to be trying to get at least one a month. So I'd like to thank you all very much for watching, and have yourselves a great day.